Hello guys, this is Paritosh and welcome to 14th video on AWS Radar tutorial. So in this video we will have a hands-on EC2, which is Elastic Compute Cloud, and we will create our first server. So guys, please open your AWS Management Console and please click on All Services, and in Compute category you can find EC2. Please click on EC2 option and it will redirect us to the EC2 Management Console. Here we can find out instance, launch templates, pod request, AMI, bundle task, these options in the left side. And then we have 0 running instances, 0 dedicated host, 0 key pairs, everything is 0, but here we can check security group is 1. That means we have one security group by default, which is provided by AWS. Okay, so no matter which region you select from here, say if we select Ireland, so we can still see the default security group. So default security group is available no matter which region you select. So as for this tutorial, I am going to select my region as Mumbai, which is very close to me, and you guys please select the region which is very near to you, and it will really reduce the latency. Okay, so right now we will go and launch our first instance. So click on launch instance. So guys, here are the 7 steps that we have to follow to launch our first instance or server. So first we have to choose AMI. So AMI is just a special type of virtual appliance that is used to create a virtual machine. Okay, so these are the default AMI that is provided by Amazon. You can check Amazon Linux AMI, Red Hat, and if you scroll down we can have Windows AMI and so on. So guys, I have provided basic details about HVM and PV virtualization type in my introduction videos. And guys, one more thing, please check here, the virtualization type is HVM, which means hardware virtual machine. So we have 2 types of virtualization, one is HVM, another is PV, which is para virtualization. So if you haven't seen those videos yet, you can go and watch them. Okay, and then root device is EBS. So these MI have root device EBS, which is called Elastic Block Services, and virtualization type is HVM. So as per your requirement, you can have PV or HVM. You can select any of the AMI that you want. And guys, please go and click on free tier only. This will make sure that you don't select anything that cost you even by mistake. And once you have enough practice, you can then go without checking this option, as you know which option will cost you extra and which option will not. Okay, so as for now, please click on free tier, and for this tutorial I will select my favorite AMI, which is Amazon Linux AMI, which you can see on the top of this list, and it is preloaded with different tools like Python, Ruby, Perl, Java, so we don't have to download it as an extra task. Okay, so we select Amazon AMI Linux and we click on select. Okay guys, and this is instance type page. Here we have to select the instance. So if you guys remember, in the previous video I have introduced you with the instance type. So there are 10 instance type in AWS, and I took the first letter of every instance type and joined together to make a word that makes sense, which is easy to remember, and that we call it dirt X FMCGP. Okay, so this is where we have to select the instance type. So instance type can be general purpose, memory optimized, compute optimized, GPU compute. So you can go on and check all the details of instance type. So you can go on, scroll down and check all the details of all the instance type. But for this video we will select T2 micro because it comes with free tier eligibility. It is general purpose T2. Okay, and then we click on configure instance detail. Okay guys, so here we have to configure our instance. Okay, so we here give the number of instance that we want to launch. Okay, and here we can define if we want any spot instance. Okay, let's check this option, and here this is the current price of instance that we have selected, T2 as for now, and here we can give our own bidding price for the concerned instance type. Okay guys, and here is the persistence request. So it ensures that your request will be submitted every time your Spot instance is terminated. And here guys, you can give your request valid from and request valid to the time that you want your Spot instance to launch. Okay, and for this video we will not check this option. And then we have a network. Here we can select our VPC. So VPC is a virtual private cloud. It is just a dedicated virtual network for our account. So in simple way, we can also say that it is just a logical group of IP address that is dedicated only to our account. As for now, we have not created any VPC, so there is only a default VPC available in the drop down. Surely guys, we will create our own VPC in some videos later. Okay, so as for now, we just select default VPC here from the drop down. Then we have subnet option. Okay, then subnet option is just a part of VPC which is connected with the availability zone. So in this VPC we have two availability zone. You might see more than two availability zone in your region in this drop down, but for Mumbai there are only two availability zones, so it is showing two. We can either select AP South 1A or AP South 1B, but for this course we will select no preferences. And if we select no preferences, AWS will automatically choose best availability zone for us to launch the instance. Okay, then we have instance role. Okay guys, if you have remember, we have created an instance role in our IAM section where we create a role for EC2 instance to access S3. Okay, and we name it S3 access. So we can provide that role to our EC2 instance which we are going to launch, but for now for this video we will select none. Okay, and in shutdown behavior we can select if we want to stop or terminate the instance. And then we have enable termination protection. So if we enable this checkbox which says protect against accidental termination, then we will not able to terminate the instance from the console. First we have to remove this termination protection option, and then only we can terminate our instance. Okay, so for now we will not check this option. Now we have monitoring option. Here we can enable CloudWatch detailed monitoring. So guys, there are two types of monitoring. One is basic monitoring and another is detailed monitoring. Basic monitoring is for 5 minutes interval, and detailed monitoring is for 1 minute interval, and detailed monitoring will cost you extra. Okay, so if we will enable CloudWatch detailed monitoring, then it will start monitor our instance in 1 minute interval, and it will cost us extra. By default, basic monitoring is always enabled for a few of the metrics that we will check once we will launch the instance. Okay, so the next option is tenancy. Here in drop down you can check, we can have our dedicated instance or dedicated host. So guys, in virtualization, two or more than two customers shares the single physical device. So either we can select shared option or dedicated option. For this video we will choose shared option. Okay, and then the next option is T2 unlimited. So it says that enabling T2 unlimited allow application to burst beyond the baseline. Please guys, please check, this also cost extra. Okay, so for this video, as it is free tier, so we will not check this box. Then here is the advanced detail. So in advanced detail, if we scroll down, we can here give our bootstrap script. So how bootstrap script work, we will see it in later video, but here we can define our EC2 instance to download and install Apache or PHP or anything that we want our server to do when it launch. So as for now, we will keep it blank, and then we click on next, that says add storage. So guys, as we can check that one root volume is by default attached to our instance, and the device is in a /dev/xvda, and it took this snapshot ID, and the size is 8 GB, and the volume type is GP2 SSD, general purpose SSD. We can either select provision IOPS or magnetic. Okay, we cannot select HDD because HDD can't be used as a root volume. Okay, so for this video we will select general purpose SSD, and it has 100 IOPS and it can burst up to 3000 IOPS. And guys, by default delete on termination is checked on. That means if we will delete our instance, then it will automatically delete this root volume. We can go on and uncheck this. If we uncheck this and then delete our instance or server, this root volume will not get deleted, but by default it is checked, and we will keep it as a default option. Okay, and then we have encrypted, which is set to non-encrypted. So guys, this is important to point out that if we use default MI, root volume by default is selected on delete on termination, and encryption is set to be not encrypted, and we cannot change this option, but we can go on change this delete on termination option and can uncheck it. And from here we can also add a new volume. Here we can provide any snapshot ID if we want, or the size of our volume, and here we can also provide volume types. And guys, here we can choose any of the volume type, and you can see that we have HTTP options available here, because this volume is not a root volume. And delete on termination option and encrypted option are both unchecked by default if we add a new volume. So we can go on check these options or let it as it is. Okay, and so for this video we will not add any volume. We will keep everything as default, and then we click on add tags. So here guys, we can add our tags if we want, like say we put key as name and value as my EC2. Okay, and then we click on configure security group, and in this page we can configure our security group. We can create a new security group, or we can select any existing security group. So guys, we have a default security group which is attached to every region, so we can select the default security group, or we can create our own new security group. So if we'll select an existing security group, we can check we have only one security group, which is default one. So guys, what is security group? So security group is just a firewall where we can open different port for our server or instance. Like say if we want to access our server from internet, we need to open port 80 or port 443. Port 80 is for HTTP and port 443 is for HTTPS. So these ports can be opened from security group. So security group is just a firewall. So here, as you can see, that we can select any of the port that we want to open. Like if we select HTTP, the port number is automatically get set, so you don't need to remember all the port numbers for all the port. AWS automatically select if you select the port type from here. Like if we select HTTPS, port 443 is automatically get select, but to remember these port numbers is good for interview point of view. Okay, so as for now we will just go with our default security group. Okay, and then we click on review and launch, and here we can review all the configuration that we have given to our instance, and then click on launch. So guys, here it is asking to choose us a key pair. So guys, what is key pair? So key pair is made up of two types of key. One is public key, another is private key. So the public key is handled by AWS. AWS keep the public key, and you can say that it use public key to lock your instance, and it provide us private key, which we will download and keep it in safe place. And we use private key as a key to unlock our instance. Okay, so in simple way you can say that public key acts as a lock and private key acts as a key to that lock. Okay, so private key is with us and public key is with AWS. So here we can create a new key, or we can use our existing key. So right now we don't have a key, so we will select create a new key pair. Here we give the name of the key pair, so let us say my key. Okay, and then we have to download this key pair. Okay, then click on download key pair. It will download our key pair inside our computer, and then we click on launch instance. and then we will click on view instance. It will take us to our EC2 dashboard page, where we can check our instance is initializing. Okay, so here are the three options. Let me show you how it works. It is just to make your page showing bigger and smaller. You can choose any options what you like. Okay, so first of all, let me show you, this is the name of my key. So guys, this is the name of my EC2 instance. It says May EC2. I think I have made some spelling mistake, so no worries. We can also edit it from here. We can say my EC2 and click on tick mark, and it will change the name to my EC2. This is the instance ID. The instance type is T2 micro. It is in availability zone AP South 1B. The instance is running and health status check is initializing. So there are two status check performed by AWS. It is called system status check and instance status check. So from here we can check another details of our instance. First it says the description. In description also we can check, we have instance ID and the security group which is default. Instance type is T2 micro and availability zone is AP South 1B. Here we can see Amazon ID, and in this side, right hand side, we can see we have public DNS name, and then we have public IPv4 address, and then we have private DNS name, and then we have private IP address. And then we can scroll it down to check all the other details of instance. Okay, and then beside description we have a status check. Here the options are system status check and instance status check. So this is the same status check that is performed by the AWS, and the result is shown here. As you can see, status check 2 out of 2 is checked. That means there are 2 status check and both are cleared. So system status check means these checks monitor the AWS system required to use this instance and ensure they are functioning properly. Okay, and as instance status check, these checks monitor your software and network configuration for this instance. So in simple term, system status check just check the physical device, physical appliances on which our server will run, and in instance status check, AWS check if the network to connect our instance is working properly or not. So if system status check fails, we can either wait for AWS to perform action, or we can ourselves go on and stop and restart our instance. So guys, when we stop and restart our instance, our server moves from one physical appliance to another. So this is also a good point to note it down. And when instance status check fails, we can also go and reboot our instance. Okay, and for these two options we can also create a alarm. So we can click on create a status check alarm, and it will pop up this page. So here we can define to which option we want to create an alarm. So we can either create for both instance check, or for instance status check, or for system status check. Okay, and then here we can define for at least the threshold number that we want to apply, like after 2 failed status check, this alarm will get triggered, and after 1 minute of interval. And here we can provide the name of our alarm. Here we have to define what we want to perform once the alarm gets triggered. So we can send a notification to DynamoDB or any email list. Actually we can create a topic, and in the topic we can have email or mobile number where we want to send some message in a single topic. Or we can take the action like recover the instance, stop the instance, terminate the instance, and reboot the instance. Okay, so for now we are not going to create any alarm. And guys, beside that we have monitoring. So in monitoring, as I said, there are 2 types of monitoring: basic and detailed monitoring. So basic monitoring is for every 5 minutes of interval, and detailed monitoring is for 1 minute of interval. And detailed monitoring is chargeable, guys, and detailed monitoring can be enabled from here. And also there are few metrics in basic monitoring like CPU utilization, disk read operations, and you can scroll down to check the other metrics for basic monitoring which are free of cost, and then you can click and check the details of any of the basic monitoring metrics. Like here I have selected CPU utilization, so you can check all the details of CPU utilization in the interval of 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hour, or 1 day. Here you can check, guys, we cannot see the details below 5 minutes of interval, because basic monitoring can be done only from 5 minutes of interval. Okay, and then we have we scroll up, and then we have tags. Here we can check the tags that we have provided. The key is name and value is EC2. Okay, here we can also add or edit our tags. Okay guys, so I think this is all for this video. So in the next video we will try to SSH to our server, and we will see how security groups work. And you guys been really great. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Thank you.